Our next guest is Sunita Shenoy from Intel. Hey, Eric Stromquist.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you too. I am so glad to get to talk to somebody from Intel. I come from the building automation control space.
Okay.
So, and obviously Intel, I think, showed up at this for the first time maybe 3 or 4 conferences ago. Mm-hmm. And I am so curious about your smart buildings initiative and sort of what you do and how you guys are playing in smart buildings now.
Sure, yeah. So I'm here as the Director of Products for Smart Building Solutions for Intel's Internet of Things group. So we're part of a bigger Internet of Things group, and Intel has a portfolio of products for IoT. What that means is everything from silicon that goes into the smart things such as smart sensors, to silicon that goes into gateways, to silicon that goes into servers and data centers. We're not just a silicon company, but we have platforms, reference platforms to enable our ecosystem of solution vendors to deliver these devices, software, and services on top of our building blocks. We have a huge software competency at Intel, particularly in the space of security and manageability. McAfee is an acquisition of Intel. It's part of Intel Security, has a portfolio of Intel security products all the way from securing the controls devices and embedded devices to networking software for the data center. We also have professional services in the space of security as consulting services for how to do risk management for your secure network and IoT implementations. Wind River is also part of Intel. They are an embedded Linux company that we acquired several years ago. They offer software products for IoT, all the way from operating system to manageability software for managing the different things in the building. And as a product manager for smart buildings, my role is to make sure that the vertical specific requirements for our challenges by this industry is supported by our horizontal building block products.
Very cool. And my background is I'm actually selling the controls that have your chips in them, for like Honeywell, Johnson controls, and things like that. So it seems like you guys are just offer a possibility to just really mushroom the market and have it be able to do so much more than we've traditionally been able to do.
Yeah. So we have been through this journey before. We've been through a lot of industry transformations. Intel is more than a silicon company, like I stated before. We're a platform company where we are about ecosystem. We are advocates of open platforms, right? Even in the PC world, we made sure that the open standards such as USB and Wi-Fi were able to connect with all the disparate systems around it, which creates an ecosystem of experiences. We've been in transformation when the enterprise IT transformed from the hot desk or PC support desk to remote manageability. We've been involved in transformation of the transportation industry, education industry, telcos, and many more. Right? So we are now here for the smart building space because we truly believe that this industry is ripe for transformation. It's still a siloed world of disparate systems, and we're trying to drive open standards to make sure that everybody interoperates with each other.
So speak more about that. When you look at the smart building market the way it exists today, and Intel's version of what it could look like, what's the delta here?
Yeah,
What's
good question. So to me, a smart building is more than energy management. Everybody starts with smart building with the green building in mind because that's easily quantifiable. There are government mandates to drive energy conservation, utilization, and optimization. Where I see smart building going is really to drive occupant experiences, more experiences and services for the occupants of the building. So when the building infrastructure senses its environment, its context, the needs of its occupants, and delivers the services and experiences for its occupants, and with the sustainable operations, that's a smart building.
Nice.
For example, I'll speak for a day in my own life, right? So I drive into the same building, office building, every single day. If my building were smart, as soon as I drive into the parking lot, it would recognize the fact that I am an occupant of the building, use biometrics or any other method of access control, and let me inside the building. Not only that, it'll reserve a spot for me and show me a way to that spot, right?
Right.
It just saved me 15 minutes of the time I would have gone through different parking lots looking for parking, which is what happened today, by the way. I couldn't
Right,
find parking
right,
for
yeah.
20 minutes.
Right.
And then once I walk into the building, again, the building knows I'm an occupant, and gives me the most optimized spot to get to where I need to be. If I'm looking for a desk to do my job, like a hoteling, it will give me a location-based service saying, hey, here's an open spot. You might want to park yourself, or the nearest printer is so-and-so. So
Yeah.
location-based services is another big thing. And the only way you can do it is when all of these disparate systems start sharing information with
Yes.
each other. They're on the same network, and they connect to each other. Like your mobile phone connects with the IT system connects with the OT system, and hence the experiences can be created.
Are you guys able to get some sort of economies? Because I think the one thing that all those have in common is they have chips in them, right? And you
Yeah.
guys have got the chips. Are you able to do things technology-wise because the chips are in all these disparate devices that allow you to communicate that maybe somebody else necessarily
Yeah,
couldn't
it doesn't
do, or-
all have to be our chips, right? We don't have chips in every little
Right, right.
everything, but we have chips in the most important infrastructure. We have chips that goes into gateways to connect the unconnected things to the internet,
Right.
and we have comms integrated on the platform. So if you're using a communication protocol such as Zigbee, a gateway built with our device, our silicon, can communicate with a Zigbee sensor, for example, and translate the data and share the data into a cloud system. So it doesn't have to be all our chips, as long as we are driving open standards and
Yeah.
using open protocols. So it's an ecosystem that we care about and we work with and we enable. So if you see our booth down there, we have a lot of ecosystem partners showcasing very cool applications.
No, I've been to your booth. It is very, very cool. And I love the concept of smart buildings because I think we get to redefine it. I mean, you probably were in the conference today talking about some of the things that are happening. And from my side of the business, we started out energy savings, right?
Yeah.
That was what was really sort of driving why people put a building automation control
Right.
system in. And now the energy savings they're the bonus.
It's
They're the
table
gravy.
stakes, yeah.
Yeah, they're the gravy. They're table stakes, well said. It really gets to the owner experience and increasing
Yeah,
productivity in a building.
right.
And so speak to them. Are you guys factor that into sort of your plans?
Yeah, so productivity is a term everybody uses, right? I mean, I was on a panel earlier, and the lady from JLL mentioned there is, compared to energy savings is $3 per square footage, the productivity of employees is $300 per square
Right.
footage, right? So there are all numbers thrown around, but from my perspective, it really is the bottom line business value for the company, right? Or the building that you're managing. Let's take retail building, for example, right? You may have put occupancy sensors in there to optimize your heating and air conditioning and lighting, right, for energy savings. But now you turn around that same occupancy data, add more context to it, and you start observing patterns, right? Patterns of occupants, traffic patterns through different aisles in the building, people leaving at a certain time. You're adding more context to it. And you, as the owner of this data, share that information with your line of business owner, and they can make decisions and add new services for new revenue streams to that, right? For example, they could say that, hey, at 3 p.m. every day, people are leaving your building to have coffee. Why not bring a cafe on site, right?
Yeah.
New revenue streams. Or if there's a traffic pattern on certain aisles, you can charge higher for your premium suppliers because you're placing their products on the premium aisle, right? So new revenue stream, right? So data drives these new ideas and business models and services that will drive productivity for the company.
Completely agree. So from Intel's perspective, are you guys actually doing the analytics, or are you just enabling people to get the information to do that?
We are enablers. Yeah. So we have frameworks for analytics in the data center, but we enable our ecosystem to do the analytics. Right now we're really focused on connecting the unconnected world to the internet, pulling the data up into the cloud, harmonizing it, and so on, working with partners. One of our showcase products that we haven't yet launched, is not yet available in the market, is Intel Building Management Platform, which really is about enabling an ecosystem that's specifically targeting small and medium-sized buildings with an affordable plug-and-play gateway connecting to the cloud, pulling data from different systems, and enabling ecosystem of applications.
So would you be able to control off of that, like turn the heating and air conditioning off and the lights and off?
Yeah, in some lightweight mechanism, yes.
Well, I know you guys, to me, and tell me if this is a fair statement, it seems like you guys are, you mentioned enablers, it seems like mostly what you're doing is partnering with the people that are here.
Yes.
Right, you're putting the chip inside that enables their controls that they build to be more efficient. I know, for example, there's a company, KMC, that you guys partner with, Computer Controls, and they're using your technology. They just rave about what you guys do, because among other things, with your know-how, you're making those controls and those networks more secure.
Exactly. Yeah, security is our key value proposition, right? There's a lot of companies, middleware companies, that can do protocol translations, pump it to the cloud, connect to the devices. Where we come in is we want to make sure that cybersecurity is not an afterthought. One of our experiences, we've been formed as a business unit for a little about 2 years, and our observation is creating an IoT implementation is easy. Bring a sensor, a gateway, a cloud, and you have a solution.
Right.
But making it robust and IT ready is a problem, right?
Yes.
Not everybody knows how and how to get there. One of the things that challenges in this industry is interoperability between systems, because everybody is siloed, even in their new implementations. But cybersecurity is the other one, right? So our mantra of IoT is IT meets OT is IoT, right? So if you have not solved the problem of how to connect this disparate OT things to the IT networks and taking advantage of the scalability and manageability and the security practices on the IT network, then you have not solved the IoT problem. So that's where we're really focusing on, is making it IT ready.
Well, there you go, Sunita Shenoy from Intel. Intel's wrapping it all up for us. I mean, you guys are inside what we do, outside what we do, and all around. So thank you so much for sharing
Thank you.
Intel's perspective. And very nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. My pleasure.